Right, okay, so I'm just going to give my thoughts here on my selections today. You know, why I didn't trade them or why I'm not, or why I'm looking at in plays rather than pre-game. And I'll just go through a few and show you some stats. And, you know, on the initial software search that comes up for first half goals, for example, is the Polish game here, this Lech Poznan and Slask game. So, you know, my first check is the halftime scores at home and away. Couple of 0-0s here, 3 away. So, not a great selection, and it's the best rated game, but sort of looking for reasons not to trade it. This Polish league isn't my favourite, to be honest with you. And when I go through it a wee bit more, you know, I'll see when I start looking at goal times here. Overall, you know, they score most of their goals here in this after the 30-minute period before half time, and the same again the last 15 minutes they score 10. The rest's pretty low, you know, but this is total. These concede most of their goals just before half time. So my initial thoughts are straight away in a league which I'm not 100% confident on, is in play, and especially when them goal times tie in for an IP 101. That's my initial thoughts straight away there. So if I look at Lech Poznan's home scoring record, again, they don't concede a lot, which is a negative for a first half goal for the away team. But the score, most of their goals is scored in this 31 to 45 minute period at home. So that's where this 10's coming from. You know, they've only got 2 away from home, so this all points to this time period. You know, I don't want to risk putting in 1.2 points or 1.3 points on a first half goal pre-game when the stats just don't basically jump at me to say get in, this is a great trade. You know, these couple of 0-0s, these 3 away from home, 3 1-0s, low scoring is the most popular for this, you know, for these away scores. At home, a couple of 2-0s in there, 4 1-0s, you know, so they've got 3 and 4 games with 1 goal, which is where this 31 to 45 probably kicks in, and the same for just their home record, 8 of them. So that's why, you know, I go with an IP 101 on that and want to check stats to make sure that, you know, the trade is there. You know, I'd rather than honking straight in from the start and pre-game. The pre-game's just not good enough for me, especially in a league that I'm not 100% confident in. So that's my thoughts on that game. Second on my list is another Polish game, which is the Górnik game. So we'll have a look at it now and see. That Lech Poznan game come up actually for both teams to score as well, but I've aligned through it because, like I said, the stats just aren't good. I'll go in and actually do that now and show you what my thoughts on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games out of Lech Poznan's last 8 haven't had both teams to score. So that's a big red flag for me straight away. And this has come up on the software search. So this is where, you know, just an initial software search can throw you, where you think, yes, this is a great rated trade, go straight into it. It needs this extra bit of digging. But look at the away, it's the total opposite. You know, there's only 2 that hasn't been both teams to score in their last 8. But I think these guys are only back from like a winter break, so, you know, is it going to take them a few weeks to get back in? We got stung in a Danish game, I think, last week for the same reasons. You know, it was just a dead game. Right there, last 4 at home, only 50% both teams have scored. But away from home, these guys are scoring. They've only scored 1 in each game, but both teams have scored, so it's not bad. But when I go down to both teams to score, 45% at home, both teams have scored. That percentage isn't big enough for me to warrant a trade, so that's why I put a line through it. So no trade there. And that's that Polish game. So we'll look at the IP for the first half goal, and we'll check it in around 20-25 minutes, and if the game's lively enough, we can bounce into it. We don't have to wait on 1.5 if we feel the goal's coming. We can get in a wee bit earlier, and just still risk a wee bit more than half a point, or stick to half a point. But I was just doing the normal IP 101 on it. Right, the other game I was looking at was the Garnet game for a first half goal. Came up in the software search. Again, we'll go to our half-time scores. We've got 3 0-0s here and 2 away. Which isn't brilliant, again, you know. And if I go to my goal times, if it'll show me it, we're still loading up. So here we go. Should give us it now. Again, this 31 to 45 minute period, goals for both teams is there. And if we go for the home and away, again, home, the highest number along that line is number 7, which is in the 31 to 45 minute period. Conceding isn't great here. So again, that's sort of putting me off going in from the start. We'll keep an eye on in-play stats, and if the stats warrant a trade, we'll get into it. If not, forget about it. You know, like I said, I'm not too confident in this league. So I'll just play it safe and watch in play. There's no point in risking a lot of points coming up at the end of the month on trades which you're not 100% confident in. And this is what will save you points rather than just bouncing in, going off the first search. So I've put it down for an IP. Malaga, Sevilla was the next one on the list. And this is it just says low goals to me all over. You know, it's going to be a low scoring game. It could end up 4-4 now that I've said that, but I'm not willing to risk it. So let me see Spain, I'll just show you. Malaga, Sevilla. Now if I look at their latest scores at home for a start, never mind half time, they failed to score in 3 out of their last 4 games at home. You know, if I go to their last 8 games, they've only scored 3 goals in their last 8 games. So it doesn't tell me, you know, it doesn't give me confidence in Malaga scoring a goal for a start. Sevilla might be a different story. Let's look at the scores at half time. 4 0-0s. And again away, 4 0-0s. 4 1-0s, 4 1-0s. So if you take them 2 score lines at the top on each of them, you know, it looks like a 50-50 chance of it being a 1-0 or a 0-0. A few of these in here as well, but that's a big red flag for me. Of course, it could be a 1-0, it could be an IP. I've put a line to it, I'm not even going to risk it because I've definitely no confidence in Malaga scoring. The difference is, or the question you need to ask yourself, is Sevilla going to score? Have a look at in plays, get involved if you like. I'll not be, I'll just leave that one alone. My last game for first half goals was a Danish game. Again, because of their winter breaks and stuff, etc., I like to leave these a few weeks to let them get back into the swing of it again. But we'll have a look and see what the stats say. Lots of 1-0s there, not so many here, a couple of 0-0s. Not bad stats, don't get me wrong, but again, because the league's only started again, I'll sort of go at it with a wee bit of caution, protect the bank that we have already, and again, just keep an eye on in-play stats. I fancy Copenhagen to win the game, or to score anyway. I was reading their stats there earlier, and it was saying about them scoring plenty of goals. So let me see. Habro failed to win their last 6. They've conceded at least 1 goal in 73% of their matches. They've scored 32% of their goals after the 75th minute, which is no good to us when we're looking first half goal. You know, I've scored 72% of their goals at home. That's Copenhagen, and they're away. So no stats telling me, yes, this is one to get into. First half goals at home and away, let's see. They only score 33% of their goals at home in the first half. Very low. Copenhagen, on the other hand, are 55 are away. Scored 6 and conceded 10, which is good for us looking at goal. But again, Nothing brilliant to go on. It just doesn't jump out to say yes, jump in at the start and risk over a point to make 0.85 maybe, you know. So again, an in play, risk reward, risk half a point to make over a point, seems to be the way to go on that. Athletic Bilbao come up for an FT3, but when I look, the more I look at the game, it's definitely not an FT3 for me. And both teams to score, I have Hibs and Hamilton. The question here is, can Hamilton score? I think Hibs are playing well. They're third or fourth in their league. I think they're fourth actually, behind Aberdeen. Hamilton have been scoring away from home. Let's see. Scored 3 against Motherwell and scored against Celtic, but failed against Aberdeen and failed against Partick. Scores away. They have more where they've scored than they haven't, so it's a good chance of a goal. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for any team, Hibs or Hamilton, so you know, I would maybe go for a 2-1 and go for an FT3 in this. Risk half a point. I've had a look at the prices and it pays over 3 points for half a point Dutching on 1-2 and 2-1. So maybe play that, gives you a bit of scope with the amount of green on that to get some more scores covered. You could drop that down a wee bit and bring it down to 2.5 points, cover more and spend a wee bit less than what we usually would, you know, whether we'll spend 0.85 on the FT3 or up to a point on it. Maybe just drop the stakes a wee bit and risk little to try and gain a couple of points or a 1.5 or something. I'll have to think about what exactly I want to do with that, but I'll play some sort of FT3 on it or some sort of crack score trade, but I think I'll go with the 1-2 and the 2-1 as target scores, and we'll work from that. So that's basically my thoughts. That's all the stats that's come up today that the software has threw up, and nothing brilliant for a Wednesday. Sort of had an idea last night it wouldn't be brilliant tonight, but weather again could take an effect today across Europe because of the snow and stuff, so we'll just see. That's my thoughts on these games anyway. Nothing brilliant to shoot at, so we'll just play it with a wee bit of caution tonight, look at some in plays and go from there. Maybe a crack score in this Hibs game. So I'll send this over for you. I don't know if it'll help or not, but it just gives you my thoughts on why I'm sort of earning a bit of caution on some of these games, because the stats are not brilliant. So there we go.